Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. My name is Reuben, joined here today with Aaron, and we are back to talk The Boys, Season 5, Episode 6. I don't have the title in front of me. Through the Heavens Fall. Good title. And before we get into today's episode, I want to let you guys know that you can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts, and go ahead and check out our Patreon page if you want more Nerd Soup featuring myself, Aaron, Cam, Andres, and also follow us on social medias at Nerd Soup, at Beau Soup, at Nerd Soup Monkey. A new episode of The Boys, and Paul Reiser is back as the Legend. Man, I love that guy. When he popped up in Stranger Things, I was like, man, I love this guy. And then when he popped up in The Boys, I'm like, oh, it's a guy I love from Stranger Things. He was great. But yeah, overall an episode, I'm interested to get your thoughts, Aaron, because I've been resisting a lot of the criticisms that this season is getting, talking about Vault Rising and how so much of it is setting up a prequel show and that it's taking away from ending this show. And I feel like this is the episode where that criticism mostly applies. And it's weird because I'm in a spot where I enjoyed the new character Bombsight and his interactions with the boys, with Soldier Boy, his dilemma, but I'm also really frustrated by some of the characters in this episode and kind of the seasons that they've had so far. And I think it's specifically with Butcher and also maybe with Sage. There were some great scenes in this episode, one specifically with the Legend and Homelander, but overall I think it may have been the weakest of the season, even though it had a great ending that I really wanted to see. Homelander getting his hands on the V1.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like, especially with the Soldier Boy and Bombsight thing, it's like, it feels like a payoff of something that we don't know about.
Yeah, that we're going to look back on this.
Like, yeah, if like, we're like, wow, it's all coming to, like they played it like it's a character we've followed for multiple seasons and we understand his relationship with Soldier Boy. And that's just not the case. It's just a new guy. And like, in the context of a season finale for this show, I feel like it didn't really fit. Well, not a season finale, but a series finale. It just didn't seem like it fit too well.
No, it didn't. It very much, and it's becoming like Marvel in a sense, where at first it was a parody, but now it's setting up other franchises. And once again, I gave them a pass with Gen V, because I really liked Gen V. And then them canceling Gen V, it almost was like in response to that criticisms. You know, those characters aren't going to fucking matter in the last season of The Boys. It doesn't matter if you watched Gen V. And that's what they promised to begin with, even though it looks like they reneged on that. And now it's a double renege.
It's so strange too, because like a lot of stuff that's happening right now, Marie could solve so many issues. Like, yeah,
specifically like taking out Homelander's blood or removing the V1 from his blood.
Right, or even just popping his, like, Newman might not be able to, but maybe Marie is just so advanced in like her blood bending that it's one of the only options you might have. And also her healing factor, like what she was able to do for Thomas Godolkin, like you can't use that in any sort of way to help the pressing issue of trying to save Annie and Kimiko from this virus.
Right, yeah, no, even her using her powers to create some sort of vaccine.
Right, like I don't...
But they had to have introduced her in the very beginning. Now it's way too late to where if she comes in the last episode, it's going to seem absolutely ridiculous.
Right, and it's something where I think it's just a glaring omission to not even just have the idea. It's like, what about Marie?
Yeah, they just mentioned her when they're talking with Edgar, but so far that's been it.
Because I'm sure Annie is privy to what her capabilities are, and just to have it completely omitted after kind of building her up to be someone who could potentially play a part in the end game. I don't think she should hijack the story, because Gen V was her story and this is more the boy. Like, we already have our players in this story, but she can contribute in some way.
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. That's what, even that scene of them watching Homelander take the V1, I understand why Butcher isn't always using his powers because of budget, but it's like you have multiple superpowered beings there that they're just watching this interaction happen between Soldier Boy and Homelander without doing anything. And it feels like Butcher's powers this season have been a waste, to where they hinted at not only does he have these powers now, but it's fucking with his mental. It's making him even more volatile and less rational in the decisions that he's making. And for the most part, he's just felt like the very same character that we've had for these 5 seasons. So I think that's been a bit of a disappointment. And it's maybe that's what we are going to see just an all-out brawl against Homelander with the V1 because they've run out of options at this point. And that's where it would have been cool to at least see Marie a part of that team. But I feel like, them chasing their tail, going after the virus, manufacturing the virus, learning about the V1, going after the V1, Sage's plan now failing. It's a maze to where you start shouting, "Let me out. I'm done trying to find the exit."
Right, but at the same time, I do like the ending. Got me excited for next week.
Can't wait for the next episode.
And the Legend interaction was fucking great. There was a couple of great Homelander moments, but I think, and we've talked about it with Sage in the past, especially when we found out her motivations, I felt that was a little lackluster. And it's another instance of dumb people, not dumb, but not the smartest people in the world trying to write the smartest person in the world.
It's another instance of morons trying to be smart. Where have we seen that before?
Like, this plan was just so intricate and so many things had to fall the right way, and it ended up not working out. But still, I don't think it was a great plan.
No, it wasn't. And it's also, it was more interesting to see Homelander reacting to it, because up until, that scene with the Legend, we'll talk about it more, but it felt like his reactions to what Sage was doing, and even her failing to make the original V1. She's obviously not going to do that for Homelander, and she's going to make it like, oh, it was too complicated. And that felt like a genuine compliment coming from Homelander, that she almost dismisses, where he says there's no way that Frederick Vaught was smarter than you. And she's almost surprised to hear it. And I think that was Homelander not being smart enough to pick up on the fact that she's purposely fucking up this virus and truly believing in her. And then, with the moment that he has where he sees the Taco Bell receipt and he's like, Sage is taunting me, and he has this sort of breakdown and then sparing the Legend's life. That's, the most humanity we've ever seen from that character. It's probably the first time. It's not the first time he's spared characters in the show, but showing genuine empathy for another person, because, he wasn't scared of him, but he's also supporting him in that moment, like an actual father figure that he never had. When he patted him on the shoulder and Homelander's like looking at his shoulder, like, did he just touch me? I was like, man, he's skating on thin ice right now, but he managed to pull it off. And when he's like, just get out of here, don't say any words.
Yeah, such a contrast to last week with Firecracker.
Right.
And how she dealt with the situation. They're both kind of in the same boat there, where her attempt at deifying Homelander was so easy to see through, where you have this man who's been, around the game for a while, kind of, giving in to the inevitable and just not really caring in that moment. And yeah, I guess Homelander kind of, whatever he said resonated with him, and he kind of respected him for not being scared. So,
well, him also reacting to Homelander's breakdown as if he's just a washed up movie star.
That's talent. So, no surprise there.
And he's like, hey, these are the breaks, kid. Eventually we all have our day in the sun, and then it's time to move on. And when he says, I care for you. You're a total fucking whack job, but that's talent. That was the line that truly sealed it, I think, for Homelander, where he's like, he actually does respect me for what I've done as my life, in my life as Homelander. So yeah, that was just such an incredible moment, very well written scene, and I think Paul Reiser absolutely nailed it. And also, I feel like one of the best parts of this season has been, it would have been easy to just pit Soldier Boy and Homelander against each other, but it's more interesting to have them team up. And when we get that insight, when Ashley reads into his mind that he's proud of him, but he doesn't want him to know, I loved hearing a line like that, because it just makes it so much more interesting, the relationship between the two of them.
Yeah, because before this, you would think Soldier Boy is also a key because he could evaporate the V from his blood. But if they're going to be... father and son, you're kind of fucked. And a lot of theories have been going around, a lot of people speculating that Homelander is actually going to win.
I feel like they almost have to do that at this point.
Which would be interesting because, like you said, they came in as the anti-Marvel. Even though they do a lot of the stuff they make fun of, I mean, that would just be, it would be something new, because we always talk about, oh, you know, Empire Strikes Back, a movie where the bad guy wins, but not really, because he loses in the next movie. You know, how many movies and shows have a true villain winning? Not an anti-hero, not like a misunderstood, but a true fucking psychopath piece of shit ending up winning.
Right, yeah, and I think it could also be left as, we're not going to be coming back. It's more so the boys fail. It's not that Homelander won, because Homelander in charge, the world is probably still going to go to shit. It's a Littlefinger situation. You've become king of the ashes, so what? Yeah, it's more so focused on the boys fail and the world tears itself apart. And the bad part for Sage is that, you know, Sage, I'm really interested to see if maybe the writers can get a bit smarter to see, like, okay, now your back is up against the wall. What do you have left? Because you're totally out of cards now that this plan has failed, and we need you to improvise. I think she has no choice but to help the boys. But if they portray it more as the failure of Butcher after all these years, after coming so close, and they lose. And sometimes authoritarians take power, and the world is way worse off because of it. And like you said, it would be the ultimate anti-Marvel ending.
Yeah, because we still haven't got that scene of him in the Oval Office.
Is that in the trailer?
Yeah.
Well, if they teased the final shot of the series in a trailer, that would be very ballsy. And if that is the final shot, I don't know. It's one of those, like, I just feel like they have to do it at this point.
Yeah.
Unless we're just missing something, you know? Sorry to cut you off.
No, I think I'm just trying to think unless Soldier Boy decides to, well, even he can't now, right? He can't take out V1?
No, he should still be able to, right?
I don't know.
Because he was able to do it to Bombsight.
Oh yeah, Bombsight had people. Okay.
Yeah, because he had but also people have now been speculating, can Ryan do it? Because Ryan, I don't know. Yeah, I guess he did take away Stormfront's powers.
No, I think he just took off all her limbs.
But see, that could also just be like, we weren't planning for this. And I think that's where you run into some problems. It's not always such a big deal. Like, even Soldier Boy having this new plot line that he was in love with Stormfront and he's calling her Clara. He can barely stand to hear. I mean, obviously seeing Homelander fuck her was a totally different story, but it's like he can barely stand to hear anything about her. But in season 3, he was talking to the other hero that was helping Seth Rogen jerk off, saying like, oh, you know, you're the only person I ever loved. And I feel like those are plot holes you can forgive, but now it's starting to accumulate to where these plot holes feel more like setup. The plot holes are widening because of the setup for this prequel show that they're developing. And I think it's like Ryan could be one of those things you either dismiss or you bring that back up. You know, you just get lucky. Oh, we established that Ryan can take out someone with V1.
Yeah, Ryan's got to well, he's coming back, obviously, but I don't know. What training montage is he going to be? He got fucking smoked. Like, as constructed, there's no, the only path is Soldier Boy if they don't introduce Marie. But they've been setting up the Ryan thing for a while, that he's the only one who could potentially take out Homelander, so.
But it's cool that Homelander got the V1, because if you're going to bring that idea up, you know, you have to give him this power boost. But it's like, what difference is there going to be in the way that he fights if he's not going to be fighting someone who was at least as strong as him? You know, if Soldier Boy's on his side, it's not cool to see him struggle with Soldier Boy in season 3 and then dominate him because of the V1 now. You know, if he's just going to be fighting against the boys and just before the V1, he would have been able to kill them all pretty easily. So that's where I'm wondering, like, what comes next when it comes to actually challenging Homelander in a way that's fun to see? Because I do want to see Homelander now with the V1 kill a bunch of motherfuckers, but I want to see him like kill Thrag or some shit, not Mother's Milk or Frenchie. Those two with the guns are so funny. Bombsight's taking out all these superpowered people, and they take out the guns, and Mother's Milk's like, fuck.
Yeah, and even I'm kind of disappointed how they've dealt with Starlight.
It's become a running joke at this point, the way she gets her ass kicked.
Like that moment in V Tower when she learns how to fly and uses all the energy that Huey gives her to, you know, not one up Homelander, but to knock him off his game a little bit. Like that should have been the turning point of her as someone who can maybe not solo Homelander, but be a key part in it. But there's been no evolution for her in that sense, and it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it's disappointing because it always felt like, even though Butcher and Huey are the leaders of the boys, that it would be her responsibility to almost carry it over the finish line because of the growth with her powers. And it felt like every season they would tease that she is getting a little stronger and she is taking these leaps. And literally, when she's able to fly, that it's one of my favorite moments of the entire show. And yeah, she does save people and she does use her Starlight powers as a distraction sometimes. And she's done that a few times this season. So it's not that she's no longer a hero, but, you know, eventually it's like what they've done with Invincible. Mark Grayson has taken a lot of beatings, but now he's starting to finally figure it out, and it's pretty cool. And I think it would have been cool to see that for Starlight too. Although Daveed Diggs, it got to a point where I just started rooting for him. Obviously, you guys are, you know, you're a shameless grifter, but you do know how to talk. I'll give you that much. Even Homelander hit him with an amen last episode.
Dominate the 7 mountains of society. Bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. Amen.
Amen.
It is so funny seeing the watered down versions of these powers. Because like people talk about like Black Bolt, like he's he's
unbeatable, right?
He's elite, you know?
Yeah.
And like he brushed her back a little bit. He was winning, but...
Bro, Buggy the Clown would take out Homelander in like 3 seconds. He'd be dancing through this world. Something I haven't really noticed much before, but man, his Australian accent came roaring out at the end of that scene with Soldier Boy.
Come on. I can't find the V1 without you.
I was like, whoa. And the way he changes around Soldier Boy, where he does almost act like a child when he's pleading with him, this is clearly Sage, she's trying to tear us apart. It's like he finally has his father on his side, or just a friend, an ally. Someone he's looked up to his entire life, and how he's basically begging him to see the truth of this deception here and the, you know, Sage's plan at work.
No, I'm just like the way he's able to act around people, whether it be Madeline or like you said with Soldier Boy, like people that he respects versus he doesn't. It's just this change in demeanor is so fucking good.
It was funny with Bombsight too, because I thought, oh, he's going to be the good guy, where Soldier Boy is the dick, but this guy was like actually decent. He wanted to be a hero. And the first time you see him is an old commercial where he's trying to give women eating disorders. But he did seem like a good dude.
I mean, those were the times, you know?
Right, yeah, totally. Skip breakfast, skip lunch. At that point, might as well just go to sleep.
The white guy who thinks he's Native American is pretty funny, though.
Hey, white boy. Yeah, that was another thing. When they introduced that, I was like, yo, I want to see all these old people get the shit kicked out of them.
When his ball sack drops and Butcher looks at MM, it's like, yeah, this guy's for... You got him, right?
Yeah, when they Kamiko was like, dude, they might be old, but they still have their fucking powers. To me, I thought the whole MM is going crazy, becoming more like Butcher this episode felt like a season's worth of character development in just 2 episodes. Even the legend saying, it's way better than what's happening to you.
Well, I think they're all, except for maybe Huey, are all starting to agree more and more with Butcher.
Well, it used to be Butcher, it's like Winston Churchill. Like, oh, we need to go to war. Like, Winston, we're cooling right now. And then World War II pops off, and it's like, see, what did I tell you? Got to go to war.
Yeah, but that was interesting, too. Like, Kamiko and Annie basically agree not to take the V1 because they don't want to live forever and see everyone else around them die. It's kind of sweet and sad.
Yeah, it is. That, for those 2 characters being willing to sacrifice themselves to take out Homelander. It's very noble for those 2 characters. And, it's not only them dying, but losing the chance to have their happy ending with the people that they love.
Or even staying young while like your partner grows old. That's gotta be, it's like Benjamin Button,
Yeah, no, I mean, I felt for Bombsight and Golden Geisha. I truly did. The fact that he rushes over even after all these years and, Soldier Boy saying, go enjoy the time that you guys have left. So that actually did make me emotional. Even seeing her at this, older stage in her life and still having that immense love for her and agreeing that they can still spend some time together. So that ended up being very sweet. The way that he cut out when Homelander showed up was so fucking funny.
I thought he was going to laser him.
Dude, I really thought so too. And that was another instance where it felt like in past seasons, Homelander would have just killed him. But Yeah, I wanted to count that as Homelander sparing him.
I accidentally did a Homelander the other night.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Were you flying home?
No. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was so fucking thirsty and I went to my fridge. All I had is milk.
Oh, ew.
I was just chugging milk
Ew, man.
like a madman, dripping on myself.
Get some water.
I didn't have any water bottles left.
You didn't go to the sink.
I was like half asleep still, but man, pulled a Homelander.
Warm summer day. Here comes Aaron with a couple glasses of milk for the boy.
Milk's underrated. I'm a big milk fan.
No, I love milk. Although I think Mickey Rourke was probably the better performance in The Wrestler, but Sean Penn's a legend. I always forget that Homelander's name is John Gilman.
Is it John Gilman?
Yeah, it's John Gilman.
But it was like John Smith or something. I feel like that's more generic white American, right?
Yeah, Smith makes more sense. But I would be interested to hear the Deep learning Homelander's real name, Gilman. Feel like he would like that. I'll tell you what, man. I started fucking dying laughing. Once when the legend patted Homelander on the shoulder, but when Black Noir was like, I swam down to the bottom of the ocean and punched a fucking hole through it. I thought that was so funny.
Was it a fish holocaust? How many fish are in the sea? He said 1 billion fish died. I feel like that's a lot of fish.
Yeah, I immediately looked it up. It's 3.5 trillion.
Oh my God. We better look out. What if they team up? If the fish get their act together, we're fucked. Although oxygen, I might have trouble breathing. Hey, they evolved lungs before. What's stopping them from doing it again? You think they're teaching evolution in the Homelander Bible?
Yeah, no, because you need to eventually get to soups. Although the Democratic Church of America does sound way more evangelical. Because the Catholics, they'll give you evolution. They're like, yeah, we'll give you that. Why not?
It has Democrat in the name, so that's like how the Nazis, the National Socialist Party. It's like let's just take 2 of them, and like everyone will think it's for them. Nationalists, socialists. If you love the party, it's right there in the name.
Yeah, party is a funny one too, because it's always just like,
yeah,
that sounds fun. I'd like to go to the
grand old party.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the grand old party. Why not? Meanwhile, the Democratic Party seems like we're all going to be voting on the hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, if I didn't know and like I saw 2 doors, above one door said grand old party and the other said Democratic Party, I think I'm going to the grand old party.
Yeah, and they got elephants?
Yeah.
I'm going to the fucking donkey party. Yeah, that's literally how Dick Cheney got his start in politics. We could have had Dick. That's like not getting LeBron in 2011.
Yeah, it's the best because he would have just followed any party line that he joined. So it's like
woke Cheney.
Woke Cheney, like to the nth degree, would have been a problem.
Talk about dark woke. Oh my goodness.
Wait, you're telling me I can drone strike and people will still love me?
No, dude. People would get hit with drone strikes if they didn't eat the Michelle Obama lunches. You better finish that with those fucking baby carrots. Think they just grow on trees? They come from the ground. Dude, I saw a tweet. It was like, did anybody else catch this reference? And it was Firecracker doing the Nicole Kidman. And I felt so bad for them because all the responses were so mean. Like, yeah, it's not exactly fucking subtle. Yeah, the actor who plays Bombsight, Mason Dye, I'm always impressed. It reminds me of Michael Feist in Wild Wild West, where I'm like, whoa, that's a 1950s face. Where'd you find that? He's a young guy, too. He's only 31.
He did look like someone from the 50s.
It's a shame because as much as I'm criticizing them for spending too much time setting up Vault Rising, I'm totally bought in at this point. I'm like, yo, a Soldier Boy show with that guy? With that guy with his 1950s face? Prime Golden Geisha?
Yeah, but I feel like that's like last season you could throw it in there. I mean, we have 2 episodes left.
Well, the next one's called The Frenchman, the Female, and The Man Called Mother's Milk.
Who could they possibly be talking about?
Final episode is called Blood and Bone. That sounds scary.
Who would you rate like as most likely to least likely to die from the boys?
Most likely to die. You know what? I'm going to throw a curveball. I think least likely I think Butcher survives.
No.
Yeah, I think Butcher fucking makes it out alive.
His whole destiny is to die.
Right. That's why I think they're going to subvert it, and it's going to be like the last terrible thing that happens to you is you watch all the people you care about die in front of you and Homelander wins.
That'd be fucking brutal.
You did all of this, you were willing to put it all on the line all this time, and you survived, where it's like, how come it's always the young who die?
The obvious ending is he sacrifices himself to beat Homelander, right?
Right. But at that point, it wouldn't even feel, that sacrifice needs to come from like Huey. I wish Huey still had powers.
I always wondered why Homelander's powers changed or Butcher's powers changed when he took the Temp V to when he took the real stuff.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I miss old Butcher's powers too.
His new ones are just kind of gross,
Yeah.
I think Huey makes it, because Frenchie had that arc where he wanted to die. Mother's Milk wants to die now. Annie wants to die. Kimiko wants to die.
Not my boy, the Legend.
Yeah, what if they all just fucking die?
I'm really interested in, how they're going to handle Homelander. Like I said, what are they going to throw up against him to make it fun for the audience to see him with this power boost? But also what Sage does now. And, does she just get killed immediately after what we just witnessed at the end of this episode? I really hope they don't do the bullshit. We don't see this resolve until episode 8 and 7 is like all a flashback episode or other shit happening. I want to see the immediate aftermath of this and what that's going to look like.
You should just have her think for a little.
Mind Palace, like
Jimmy
Sherlock.
Neutron would always like 3 things. Think, boom, brain blast. She needs to do one of those. She needs a brain blast.
Yeah, Homelander's going to give her a brain blast. All right. Why was he fucking Stormfront's body like that? What's wrong with him?
I didn't see it, but I can only imagine. Surprised Soldier Boy didn't respect it because he's always getting on him for not fucking.
Also, he ate the queen's ass. That's crazy.
Well, she sat on his face.
Oh, okay. She just needed a chair.
I love when Soldier Boy and the Legend talk about what they used to do back in the day. It's so fucking funny.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that they knew each other.
It would be interesting to see if, whether by Soldier Boy or by any other means, I can see a version where Homelander loses his powers before he dies, feeling mortal.
Right. Yeah. No, that's I think that would be a fun ending, especially for the character to get that taste of humble pie.
So he would just be so pathetic in that moment.
Not before he wrecks shop. I'm also questioning the durability of some of these characters too, because they build up Noir like he is as strong as anybody in this universe, and then he just dies because he got stabbed.
That was old Noir.
Yeah, but this new Noir was saying I could fly too. I just punched a pipeline. I miss old Noir.
Oh, he was the best. He was Homelander's best friend.
Dude, when the Deet resuscitates that fish and he's like, we know it was you, Kevin.
That was fucking funny. No, I still enjoyed the episode. I don't know. I think last week's is the clear standout, but this kind of blends in with what we've gotten before last week, I feel like.
Wow, it's actually got really high ratings.
The ending got me excited for next week. That's what I said. It ended off great.
Yeah, no, yeah, it does end with a banger, and I think that's what you're really going to take away from it.
If he's just a fucking... if he's Superman now, actually Superman.
Right, yeah, he straight up can't be killed. And hey, people make fun of Batman with prep time, but Sage had a lot of prep time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, I guess, to see what their plan is now, but yeah, I feel like it should open with them, getting the fuck out of there, or Homelander hunting them down.
Yeah, at the very least, I hope they make it fun. I know Kripke was complaining about, these episodes were fleshing out the characters. Everybody just wants action. And I don't think that's necessarily fair, his response. But at this point, yeah, I do want to see them throw down. I want to see that budget, baby. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our review of The Boys, Season 5, Episode 6, Through the Heavens Falls. I think that... I honestly don't remember. Guys, we will be back next week for The Frenchman, The Female, and The Man Called Mother's Milk. Aaron, thanks for joining me. Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, let us know down below. What do you think about the New York Knicks going to the NBA Finals? Is it happening? Think the Spurs have a chance? Think the Thunder have a chance? I don't know.